Hello and a very warm welcome to Rising Stars. I'm Vikram Oza. Now, projections are suggesting that in the next decade, India is going to hold more than half of Asia's workforce. So corporates have this big task on their hands to cope with the additions in their workforce. And now we hear that a slew of startups are tapping into technology to help in this matter, dipping into artificial intelligence, there's machine learning, predictive analytics, to build these plug-and-play platforms to handle recruitment, to handle hiring, and human resource management as a whole. So in fact, our rising star today is a cloud-based HR platform, a SaaS startup that wants to do just that. It aims to simplify the process of talent management in an organization with artificial intelligence and machine learning. So how exactly are they going about it? To tell us that and how the business is faring, we have the founder and CEO of Darwinbox, Rohit Chennamaneni, in the house. Welcome to the show, Rohit.
Thanks, Vikram. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you with us. So the co-founders, and you have two others who started up this business back in 2015, you saw a need gap in the industry. Tell us what it is, which was essentially ruled by SAP and Oracle. So you are pitted against the big guns in the industry. What was the thought when you started?
Absolutely. So as three of us were working in enterprise products or enterprise sector as such, we were consultants.
Yes.
What we saw was you have two main systems of record in any organization, right? There's the finance system of record and then the HR system of record.
Yes.
Instead of being just a record keeper in terms of these HR system of record, we saw a huge gap in terms of how you can use these data that's generated by the people and for the people to give you a lot more insights to take decisions for the people,
right,
which was not being done by the incumbent players. And the other big gap that we saw was people are not using the systems as much. In your real life, you have the Facebooks and Ubers of the world, which are super easy to use.
Yes.
And when you come to work, you have these old legacy systems, which you find difficult to use, or you're basically saying, hey, let me do this offline.
Right.
Right. And that's where we saw there's a huge potential on getting products for people, and people being the most important asset of organizations to maximize.
But is that like a big shift that is happening? Because you worked at a Google before, considered one of the best places to work. So some of those best practices, are you kind of inculcating within the app that you're generating? Because this obviously works, everything is on a mobile phone, isn't it? That's how this entire business of yours works.
Absolutely. And not just Google, McKinsey. So this is all these slew of companies that we work for or our employees have worked for. A lot of learning has come in terms of how the product has to function for a new age organization, for a legacy organization, for new employees in a legacy organization or an old established organization, right? So bringing in all of this and giving them the flexibility to say, hey, I am today here and I want to go here, and there might be a transition phase, but the product has to be flexible for me to take me through the transition phase, not solving for this or this.
So give me an understanding of how this product actually works.
Yeah, so if you take a simple example or use case, so it's an end-to-end product. It takes care of recruitment, onboarding, time and attendance, performance, etc. So if I give you a use case of performance management, right? So the old age would be, there is a yearly performance process where a manager defines the goals, he's rating the employee on the goals, and then the HOD finalizes the goals, etc. Cut to the new age, you will have the people interacting on a day-to-day basis in terms of not being in the same team, but there are cross-functional teams.
Right.
How do I give feedback to this person on an ongoing basis rather than wait till the end of the 6 months or 1 year?
For the appraisal period.
Yeah.
And you have to rack your brains and remember what
remember
exactly
all the 6 months or 1 year that you need to do it. While if I say, hey, today I've seen you do a great job and I want to give you some feedback, can I do it on my mobile, right? That's your moment of truth when this is happening. And I say, hey, Vikram has done a fantastic job on doing this. Thanks, Vikram. And also, I think these are the 3 areas he's doing really well on.
Right.
Right. And how do you collate all of that and make performance management itself so much more powerful?
Sure. So when you compare how the cost works out, what's the revenue model that you've got going for yourself? Because I would imagine this is subscription based. And considering the competition, you need to make sure that you are very competitive when it comes to the pricing. So how have you gone about that?
Yeah, so 2 parts to this. The model is a subscription revenue model depending on the per employee per month, right? Basically the number of employees in the organization, a multiple of that is your revenue from that organization. So as your organization scales, so you pay more. If it comes down some number, you pay less. And when you compare it with the incumbent players, etc., I think 2 parts again. There is one, the cost, of course, has to be competitive to take care of the margins.
Yes.
On the other hand, you need to be competitive because you're serving organizations which are across the spectrum, right? So we serve organizations which are 500 employees plus,
right?
And you have organizations which have low margin levels, but they need technology to serve their employees, or high margin levels.
So $2 to $3 an employee?
Yeah, $2 to $3 per month.
So that's the average that's going around.
Absolutely.
So, but the others also are doing that. The incumbents are also doing that. So to that extent, how do you keep that edge going for yourself? Not just now, but in the future as well, when there'll be a lot more players because it's growing, right? And the newer startups, they would want HR management systems like the one that you're offering.
Absolutely. So I think what we need to keep doing is innovating on the product. So
which you're doing. You have 5 modules that you're offering.
Yeah, 5
and
broad
most
modules.
of them sign up for all 5.
Yeah, 60-70% of them sign up for all 5, and you need to go deeper and deeper because we have a monthly release. We ship features very soon and very often, and people need to keep seeing the value out of the product, right? Because again, it's a subscription business. You can shut off when you need to, etc. But you need to keep seeing value in it grow as you grow with us and partner with us and grow, right? And that's where we keep the edge ahead. We question the norms of random HR process.
But what about scalability as well? Because that's something else that you'll have to track as you go along. Expansion, what's the plan as of now? You have about 100 odd clients, but then that'll have to grow, right? Volumes will have to drive this, considering that you said margins can be pretty squeezed when the incumbents, and they are big ones, they will obviously be offering a good deal too. To that extent, you've been able to raise about $5 million so far.
Absolutely.
And the initial round came in from TV Mohandas Pai as well, someone who's considered a big name, who knows what he's talking about. So that must feel good. But how far does this take you, and what are your global expansion plans?
So I think in terms of India, we see a tremendous potential because it's also in the transition phase where people are becoming a lot more important to organizations. Compliance levels are much higher, etc. And we're seeing good revenues from India. So it's more self-sustaining. I think the money that we've raised or continue to raise in future maybe would be for expansion to global markets, whether it is Southeast Asia, Australia, or the US. But India as such, I think, is self-sustaining, and we've got very good referenceability and word of mouth for Darwinbox in India. So that should take us through to a larger extent here.
Well, we wish you great luck on this journey that you've embarked on. Much luck, and indeed, we hope you keep bettering the product as you go along. A process of R&D is always something that you need to work on.
Absolutely, absolutely. The biggest investment today or so far has always been in R&D, because product, as I said, continues to be the edge, and the features will need to solve for the growing demands of organizations, future needs. So you need to keep all of them in mind, present needs, future needs, etc., and build for all of that.
Thanks very much, and good luck.
Thanks, Vikram. Thanks for having me.
And that's Rising Stars. Of course, there'll be many more entrepreneurs on the show, so we suggest you keep it with us on BTVI.